Hello, I'm Annette and I'm going to explain you what recursion is. So you may be familiar with the expressions like this. A wise man once started saying, there are two types of people, one who don't know what is recursion and one who know that there are two types of people. One who don't know what is recursion and one who know that there are two types of people. So you may be getting the meaning. Recursion is the process when something refers to itself. For example, in the expression that I mentioned, at some point it referred to itself and continued all over again. And it would continue forever if there wasn't something that stopped it. Now you might think in my expression there wasn't something that would stop it. However, I said that a wise man once started saying. It means that one day that wise man would stop saying it because he will be dead. And in this case, death is the point that stops recursion. In other words, it's the termination point. So let's depict all of this in JavaScript. Let's create a function that calls itself. So in order to create a function that calls itself, we have to first create a function. And what our function will do, it will return an O. And now whenever we console log the result of our function, it will print an O in our console. Here it is. Now if we call our function with an argument 5, it will make no difference. It will still print one O because our function just prints one O. It doesn't use this N. And what if we want to print N O's? This is where we will use recursion. Here we will say that we want to return O concatenated with the result of our function ran with n-1. So we call our function with n-1 and it will go into that function again. It will run it with n-1. It will return an O and we'll call that function with n-1 again. And you might realize that this would continue forever. I mean, there is nothing that would stop it. And this is why we have to create a termination point. So when do we want our recursion to stop? We want it to stop printing O's whenever our n is equal to 0, because it would mean that by doing n-1 every time, it came and got to 0, and that means that it already returned n O's. A termination point is often an if statement. So we write if n is smaller or equal to 0, it should just return. So why don't we write n equals 0 but we'll write n is smaller or equal to 0? Because if we give the argument a negative number, this termination point wouldn't stop the recursion. However, this one would stop because it would realize that n is negative. So now let's run the function. I wrote function here, however I had to write recursion because that's what's my function's name. Sorry about that. Now let's see. Here it is. It printed 5 O's in our console. And if we call print 15 zeros, so O's with 1, no, and with 0s, it wouldn't print anything. Let's also give a negative number, 7. It would just return this thing, which is nothing. That's why we don't see anything in our console. Well, this was basically it about recursion. Thanks for watching. Bye!